What's going on? It's Justeeni here. This is my first ever bullet tournament. Do I bring home the win or do I get stomped? You're gonna see what happens in this video. Maybe you can get a good idea of what the first result will be, because the first game I'm going against Bullet Champion Rats. So if you guys aren't familiar with Bullet, basically it's a small drylands mirror match where the hosting player skips the first turn, and other than that, that's how it is. Tournament is double elimination, and this is the first round. First thing I'm thinking here is I'm glad it's double elimination, and the second thing I'm thinking is, oh my goodness, I'm playing rats. So we get things started just with the level up, and I move into the center, very risky, and I find nothing, which is not very good, except I do find the opponent. And then here I take a bit of a thinker. You see that I didn't train a warrior next turn because I wanted to train a rider, and I move my warrior here and hit. And my idea is pretty simple. If they kill this, then I can move my rider, get some vision, then kill this and escape away. And if there's a village here, which there most likely is, I'm going to be able to easily snag it super fast. And that's going to be great. Now, the issue is they don't have to kill with this warrior, so therefore this move is absolutely stupid and possibly losing the game already. In fact, this is losing the game already. They kill with the rider, and all I can do is just sit back, except they go here. You see this? Because you see where they go. You can see that fog tile they moved to. Thank goodness I had vision. Actually, due to the warrior movement earlier, I'm able to take advantage of this. And I can hit, and I see that they're on a village, and I see that there's most likely a village on one of these tiles. With the way that Drylands villages works, can't be on any of these tiles, so it has to be one of these. So I've got a good chance of finding a village, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-on-2. But they move off because they realize if they capture, I can siege. I get a kill here though, and suddenly I'm in a pretty good spot. They don't have this village unless they have like a sneaky warrior, but I get hunting, I funnel the explorer, capture, find a ruins, and I go with this explorer, and I see that I missed the lighthouse barely, and I see that they are able to step on with the 7 HP warrior, so I make sure I take care of that, moving the rider back here, nice and away from their rider. And I train another rider here with intentions of either going to the center or going for this old lighthouse, because I missed this one earlier. I was really hoping for it to level up my capital. So I can kill their warrior, and instead of going for the ruins, I advance everything, because if I were to even put one of these riders towards the ruins, then what they're going to do, of course, is they're going to move their rider along. They're going to kill my rider, and then just move back here. I need both of these riders. If one of those riders are not there, they get the village, they might be able to hold on to it, things get complicated, and when things get complicated against a bullet champion, you don't want to be in that situation. I'll just say that. So I go for the lighthouse though, and yeah, sure enough, I am able to kick them off. They do exactly as I expected. I move this rider here so I can potentially snag this lighthouse, and I am likely to snag this city as well. Lighthouse, well, I can get this lighthouse, and I get an explorer to get this lighthouse in the back as well. I've got this one, and I get a city wall, and it looks like a misclick, but there is a point to it. Basically, I'm kind of seeing that I'm at quite the advantage here. You know, Rats only has one city, and I'm about to get my third. The only way I can screw this up is if they cap snipe me. So I'm just doing this as a preparation, and it also allows me to spam riders on my capital, even if they pressure with the warrior. So it gives me a nice layer of safety, and a way of actually keeping the initiative, oddly enough. Because now, again, I can just safely train riders there. And yeah, I advance here because I see that they went for the cloak. This is the desperation, playing to the outs. Very smart move, because, well, what else can they do? If they just spam riders, or really any other unit, is just not going to be enough. And they can't get a giant with the resources they have. So I go for this explorer, It does reveal that lighthouse, so I just need one more, and I'm likely to get it. They go for the siege. It doesn't hold, and then they move the cloak somewhere. I don't know where. I position these riders, though, to prepare for the cloak, so if it's going towards my capital, I can scan it out and just take it out. But I don't see it. With those movements, that was to try and find the cloak, and I didn't see it. Still don't see it. Where's the cloak? I get the lighthouse, and I get organization. I get a city wall here, and then use the monument here. A little bit of not the best order, but yeah. Like, it's hard to mess up this position. My capital's well defended now. Now I see the cloak, but I don't know where it is. I suspect it's right here. That would make sense, because this rider doesn't see it. You know, if we play a little Minesweeper here, it's in one of... Well, really, it's only in either this tile or this tile. But for some reason, I don't check this one. And I should have. Because it very well could be there. Because if I don't do anything about it, then I do get a cloak on my capital. But I happen to block it anyway. Just a little bit of dumb luck. And just like that, I won against rats. Round 1 with a terrible start. And that made me feel a lot better going into round 2, which I'll cut right to. Alright, so now round 2, this one's a Polaris bullet, which tend to be a bit more volatile because whoever meets the other person with their Mooney tends to have a pretty big advantage. So you want to be very safe with your Mooney, but you can't be too safe or else then your capital's vulnerable. And this time I'm going against Dazo, another very good Bola player, just good player in general, honestly. So once again, I'm very nervous. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of hoping that things work out again. I pass turn 0 because I'm the host, and I move here and move down because I don't want to go in the center too soon. Of course, it would be too risky. I do get nice parallel resources, so hunting's very nice here. Now I move in the center with this warrior. I meet the opponent, and then just capture. No text before, because I just want to develop my economy. And I'm able to get a nice easy kill here. Well, except I don't kill, I actually go for this village. Because I know that if they hop on the village, I can use my Mooney to defend. Except they don't even go for the center. They just let me have it. And now it's this kind of interesting situation. I bought org precap just so I can develop my economy, and I'm just spamming warriors. Which, yeah, a warrior spam on drylands, that's not something you see every day. Normally you see a lot of rider spam, but no, I'm doing warrior spam. I get an explorer, see what's up, and yeah, sure enough, they do what's expected. Riders or... Well, with Polaris, you can't really go archers because ice archers are not as good as regular archers, but I'm just kind of using these as defense, and they move down here in the city, which is a huge mistake. It's clearly they don't have proper vision. I can just kick them off and, again, take advantage of just sheer numbers here. That's going to be my way to win. And I'm en route to get up to 5 cities. They're going to knock me off this, but I've still got 4 to their 2. And I get riding pre-cap, so now I can get some riders of my own, and I'm just going to keep stepping on this because there's lots of terrain blockers. It's really hard for them to keep kicking me off. They can only kick me off once more. They get forestry as well, but I get ice fishing ruins, but they don't have a lot of outs to play to. I funnel this explore, so now I get the nice and juicy monument, and I'm going to use that just on my capital to get my first Gami already on turn 10. I see that they have ruins here, which I'm preparing my Mooney in case it's a vet sword. So again, really nothing can go wrong at this point. I've played like any possible out that Dazo has, so I mean, it just looks really good at this point. Game 2 is definitely locked in because I'm just going to make another Gami, and then at this point, a really strong finish, chopping a bunch of my forest just to road in with this disgusting double Gami freeze play. So that's game 2. Now I'm in the semifinals, just like that. Happens fast. But yeah, I'll cut to the next match. Okay, now round 3 against Yet another very strong Bola player, one of the best Bola players around. I know I'm saying that about a lot of the players, but that's because this tournament is stacked against Yeti Peaks. And it's a Quetzali mirror, which is a pretty skill-intensive one. So once again, I'm quite nervous, but they're hosting, which means I actually get the first move because they have to pass turn 0. I make a warrior, and I decide to avoid the center, which was maybe a mistake because I have that first move advantage. Maybe I could have gone for it, but I decided to play it safe. I meet the opponent, so I guess in retrospect it was the right decision ultimately to dodge the center. I see that they'd most likely have a village here. I'm just going to workshop it, not risk it with an explorer. I'm going up here. I see that there's a ruins, but I pass it up because there's most likely a village right here or right here. Again, because of how Drylands works. This animal has to be near something, and it's got to be on one of these tiles. It can't be here because... Actually, it could be here. It is entirely possible, but I think their capital is somewhere close. But yeah. There's the village, and yeah, they see me, and very smart of them to hit my warrior, because now I have to kill their warrior. If I step on the village now, they're going to kill my warrior, and I'm going to be very sad. I go for hunting to level up, with my ultimate plan to be going for archery, of course. I spam some warriors first, though, and then yeah, now I've got archery. I step on this village. I really want to keep it, but unfortunately their warrior is just right there, so I actually can't capture it yet. So I heal the warrior instead, and this is gonna make sure when they hit, it's not gonna kill my warrior, which is exactly what happens. Then I go forestry pre-cap. I can spam another archer, and then at this point, I think I'm pretty good to go, because if they siege with this 6 HP, I have a 10 HP warrior here, but they make this genius play, sacrificing their defender. Now it's at 9 HP. That means it's only going to deal 5 damage to this warrior. Barely not killing it. So I cannot unsiege this anymore. But there's a city here that I can take advantage of. And you know how I found this one? If we actually go back a little bit, on turn 7, I dash dance to find that village. And if I didn't dash dance, I may have never even found that. But yeah. Oh yeah, I did get something from the ruins, by the way. Farming, completely useless. Then I get an explorer, you know, just to waste stars. And I see that they have archery already. They got it quite a bit later than me, but now they have it. And I did get the explorer late because I actually could have shot this archer if I didn't already shoot this defender. So, a little bit of bad order from me. And I just chop everything there because I know I'm not getting it back anytime soon. I poke away at this, just trying to pressure here as much as I can. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-on-3. And they're trying to get this ruins as well, which I can't really let them have. And I'm going to be able to get a pretty good economy, lots of archer spam, take out that defender. And they're going for that ruins. I'm sending my archers in like this, and the reason why I'm doing this is just I really want to poke away at their archers because I'm able to make archers from multiple cities. I'm fine trading because I'm already pop capped. If they kill my archers, that's good. I can use my stars to make more archers. They need to make archers constantly from the city and get as many as they can. If I'm poking away at their archers, that's really bad. It also means if I siege with the defender, they have no chance of unsieging. So I'm trying to pressure their archers a lot. And I also do get the defender siege, mostly because of a very interesting play here. This hit, I don't think it works. The idea, I believe, was something involving like an interaction with the 14 HP defender. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the firepower to defend a 14 HP defender after I hit his archer. And even if he did, I'm sending in all these archers, and that's the game. Now, I make it to grand finals, and because I'm on the winner's side, it's the best 2 out of 3, but I really only need to win once because I'm coming from the winner's side. Because whoever's coming from the loser's side has already lost the game. They only need to lose once more to be eliminated. So I'm coming in for my first tournament ever in a really stacked bracket. Grand finals on the winner's side. Absolutely unbelievable. Let's cut to the next match. All right, so grand finals. Who am I against? Yeti peeks again. Yeah, he destroyed his opponent. So I'm back against him. I only need to win once, he needs to win twice. So I'm playing at the advantage, I'm hosting this game. IMO mirror match is really weird. I didn't really realize this before playing, but one of the most important things actually in this matchup is city advantage, which sounds really counterintuitive. You'd think, well, IMO can play really tall with their Altar of Peace and get early giants that way. City advantage isn't going to matter much, except it does, and you're about to see why. Here's a little lesson in IMO Bola. Here's what not to do. I meet the opponent early. All this is fine. And, you know, I see them there. I get climbing because I know there's going to be a city here. And then at this point, I'm faced with a critical decision. Do I hit this warrior, allowing me to siege next turn if they capture the village, or just steal the city from them potentially? Keep in mind, if I hit this warrior as well, they can't hit me back. It'll just have their own warrior die because my warrior's on a mountain. So I can do that, but it makes me give up the Altar of Peace, which means I can't level up my capital next turn. Or I can take the Altar of Peace and give them the city, which seems pretty good because I can actually get a quick giant if I play my cards right. And that's what I ultimately go for. And this was the biggest mistake of the game. And you're about to see the second biggest mistake in not too long from now, actually. I've got this village that I'm eyeing up. If I can get my hands on 3 cities, I am feeling pretty good because I've got that Altar of Peace. Keep in mind, though, the opponent also has their Altar of Peace. They had no incentive to attack me. And look at this play. These are the kinds of plays that you will only see from Bullet champions. He trains an archer. Why does he train an archer here? Because he wants me to siege. And here's the thing is, I knew he wanted me to siege, but I have no choice here. I have to siege, because if I don't and I try to move to this village, he's got an archer to easily stop me and a warrior as support. And if I do siege, which is what I do because ultimately I'm forced to, then I'm kind of screwed. And then here, you're gonna see my second big mistake. I can actually get the giant with organization, but I decided to go for Smithery instead because I'm a little silly. And yeah, their point is they have another archer in the fog, so they can unsiege no problem, and they've just forced me to slow down and waste units, which is really bad. I try to get things going with my giant as soon as I can, but unfortunately I'm stuck on 2 cities, and the problem is I'm going against archer spam. And the reason why I was able to go archer spam is because, fun fact, IMO starts with guaranteed animals. And thanks to Altar of Peace, you don't really care if your second or even like your third city is bad. You'll just use an Altar of Peace on it anyway, and then just rush archery, spam a ton of archers. If you are up in cities, you're just in a good spot. That's that. That's why city advantage is so important, is because IMO has a super easy route to archery here, which is the perfect counter to giant spam, which is exactly what I was trying to do. Now, I don't resign yet because I at least have 1 out. It is a super, super long shot, but I do have Smithery, and if I get roads, that sort of answers the archer spam. It's not pretty, but it kind of does the job. Sort of. And it could give me some breathing room, but unfortunately, he's already pressuring here. I have to do a giant push just to defend. It's really ugly. The city's still level 1. My economy's terrible. I can't afford roads at this rate. But I try to develop, get the sword. I have to keep my giants really defensive. This is the issue against archer spam with giants, is you just sit there and you just have to take it. Because if you try and advance, the archers are just going to poke away. They're going to take advantage of any weak spots and possibly just siege your cities. And if you just stay there, you're just taking it. And you're making no progress while the opponent's just spamming more and more archers and developing their economy. So, nothing really happens this game, except for what I said was going to happen. Look at these archers. This is why city advantage is so important with the IMO mirror and bullet. It sounds really weird again, but it's so important, the city advantage here, because archers are so readily available for IMO. So I take a loss, and that means it's the final match. Whoever wins it all. Let's cut to it. So this time, it's a Wenger bullet, and these ones can get pretty intense. Especially in the early game, stuff can happen real fast, and things can get out of control very easily, so I need to be very careful here. Sword opening is basically a requirement. If you score count here, you can see on turn 1, the opponent does the same. And I move my swords like this. I don't want to move to the center too soon, because if I do, and the opponent meets me first, I could just lose a sword and lose the game. So I'm trying to play things very careful, and I do meet the opponent here. Now I don't know if they came from north or from east, which means like if they have a sword like here, for example, this is what really worries me, is if their sword is here. No matter what I do with my swords, I'm gonna lose my sword back. Like I kill their sword, but then they just kill my 8 HP sword. So I have to be very, very mindful of that. Where's my 8 HP sword gonna be? So I move like this, I see the village, and I attack away from it, leaving my 8 HP here, because now, if they kill, which, look at that, the sword was right there, as expected. Now, they have to kill, they have no other choice. Now it's gonna be away from this village. Now that does not mean I'm going to get this village. Not at all. They have another sword, probably this turn, on their capital. So I have to run away, and look at that, there's the other sword. Now they might be the ones getting the city. I have to get a warrior here because I can't afford a sword. And it looks really dangerous. It looks like I might be losing. Like, look at this. They just can step on here, and I actually can't stop it. I'm too slow. But I find a play here that manages to just barely squeeze by. I hit with the warrior and hit like this. And the reason why is because now, if they go on this city, I'm gonna heal both of my units, although they're probably gonna kill this warrior. If they kill the warrior, it's gonna be the same deal though, because like say they kill, I just kill right back. I have a 15 HP and an 11 HP. They can't keep it. They can capture it, but then I'm gonna just move in. I'm gonna hit with my 11 HP and then siege with my 15 HP. They're only going to have one sword ready to defend. So then I'm taking the city right back. I'm also going to be able to make a sword on my capital as soon as my warrior dies. So I'm going to be able to keep the city instead. And there's a village over here you can see based on the resource indicator. So it'll be a 3 on possibly 2 or 3 depending on their village density. But the center village is going to be amazing to have. So, and again, I'm pretty sure this is actually the only way to save things for me too. If I move this warrior in a different spot, for example, changes the whole game. But I'm able to keep things intact. And they move off, rightly so, because if they try to keep it, it's just not going to work. They move back. I assume they're finding a village of their own, but notice how I'm keeping guard of this middle city, just in case. Now I'm able to get forestry here and upgrade for the workshop. I'm not risking an explorer here, that's just not a good idea. And again, I'm defending this middle city. I'm trying to go over here in case there's like a village or ruins here. Just trying to poke around a little bit. And I see that they have archery now. And I'm a little worried because I don't have archery yet. I just got forestry. I went kind of on the eco side of things. And I also see their village is right next to their capital. They've got really good spacing and the potential for a third village right here. So I'm absolutely worried about that. I move in to defend, except I leave myself open. And now my capital is pressured, I have to defend. And somehow though, it kind of works out. I did lose a sword and they misplay. They should have killed this sword here because they back off with this. But I kind of just make this line and then get archery myself. And the reason why it's best to do it in a line like this is because now if they advance their archer or their sword, now I just advance right back. If I had any units like sticking out of this, it's just a free target for the archer. they hit my archer, which is not a good idea here. Because now I'm gonna advance my own archer. And you see the sword? See that? 2 out of 3 kills. That will be important later. I get climbing here because I knew that these were both mines because of the way the Wenger works. They have guaranteed metal inside their borders. So I knew that these were both mines, and I want to get mining for my giant. I have the stars to get climbing. Even if units from both my cities die, I still have enough stars, so climbing is absolutely worth it here. They kill my archer, but ultimately I don't care. I get the veteran, and then now I start to pressure here because now they have to deal with this sword and this at the same time. So this is prime time to pressure this city and their capital at the same time. Something's got to give. They've got an archer to defend, but they've got to deal with this vet sword once again. I'm going to hit here, so then they can't divert as much attention to this center city here. And I hit with the sword so then it can stay on the city, and I can hit with the archer. And once again, I'm able to pressure quite a lot. If they kill this, I'm just going to send the 14 HP sword on. They still have to deal with this. All sorts of problems they got to deal with, but they don't deal with this middle city. And just like that, I've got 3 cities. And I'm about to get a giant. In fact, I get it this turn. And I also get the explorer to see, to my relief, they only have 2. And I'm back in the driver's seat. And I'm gonna win, based on the looks of things. I've got the giant, I got the Park of Fortune, and now I can get a giant here soon. Like, unless something ridiculous happens, I might be winning my first ever bullet tournament. Though they are starting to crank up the pressure, so I still need to be careful. But it's not too late to throw the game out of nowhere. But I get this mine here in case they try and kill this and then go for the siege at the same time. I defend either way, but gotta play it safe. And again, they don't siege, they just try to pressure. It doesn't really lead anywhere. I'm able to defend everything just fine. I get another giant with Gate of Power, and they are powerless to stop me at this point. They go for one last siege, but I can defend with ease. They even get the catapult, but I've got 2 archers there. They can't kill both. I'm gonna hit their catapult, bring it to 1 HP, no matter what they do. And I even hit, and I do a nice giant push to push my sword even closer. It's too much for them, and just like that, after a long 20-turn game, I win the first bullet tournament I ever play with one of the most stacked brackets ever. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.